Have you ever stood in an airport security line, staring at the exhausted agents, and wondered just how much power they actually hold? We trust them to catch the threats. But what happens when the person guarding the gate is the one forced to open it? Imagine a scenario where a single, seemingly ordinary suitcase contains enough chemical poison to wipe out an entire city. And the only thing standing in its way is a man pushed to the absolute edge. A man forced to choose between saving 200 innocent passengers or the life of the woman he loves. Welcome to a pulse-pounding game of cat and mouse. This is not just another day at the office. This is the ultimate test of survival. Our story begins in the dead of night, inside a desolate, dimly lit warehouse. A mysterious, sharply dressed man is conducting a highly classified transaction with a former mafia boss named Oleg. The exact nature of the item is a mystery, but the mountain of cash on the table proves its value is astronomical. But there is no honor among thieves. Just moments after Oleg greedily counts his money, he starts coughing up blood. He's been poisoned. Before his bodyguards can react, they are ruthlessly gunned down by a hidden sniper. It is an absolute massacre. To ensure zero evidence is left behind, the mysterious man drenches the millions of dollars in gasoline and burns the warehouse to the ground. We shift to the chaotic morning city traffic, introducing our protagonist, Ethan Kopech. Ethan looks like he hasn't slept in a week. The reason? He just found out his girlfriend Nora is pregnant. While Nora is absolutely glowing with joy, Ethan is silently spiraling. He feels utterly unprepared for fatherhood, but can't find the courage to tell her. Interestingly, they both work at the city's international airport. Nora is a high-ranking operational manager, while Ethan is a TSA agent working the grueling security checkpoints. During their commute, Nora gently nudges Ethan to reconsider his abandoned dream of joining the LAPD. He took the exam once but choked during the interview. Nora knows he's a fighter. So why is he giving up after one strikeout? Because of their heavy conversation. Ethan completely misses the morning briefing, and today is a total nightmare. It's the peak of the holiday rush. Miraculously, his strict boss, Captain Sarkovsky, lets him off without a write-up. But things get weirder. Even though he only learned about the baby 12 hours ago, the entire security team is already congratulating him. He had only told one person, his best friend and senior co-worker, Jason. Jason doesn't sugarcoat things. He agrees with Nora, pointing out that Ethan has been coasting. While Ethan has been stuck at the same rank for 3 years, Jason has been promoted twice. Fired up by the reality check, Ethan marches into Captain Sarkovsky's office, demanding a promotion. Sarkovsky immediately shoots him down, but Ethan pushes back. Seeing his friend finally step up, Jason throws himself on the line. He offers to temporarily give up his coveted spot at the baggage X-ray machine, just to give Ethan a trial run. Sarkovsky reluctantly agrees. Before Ethan steps up to the conveyor belt, a veteran guard named Lewis hands him a special invisible ink marker. He tells Ethan, if a passenger gives him a bad feeling, just mark a subtle cross on their boarding pass. Guards further down the line will spot it with a UV light. Meanwhile, the cold-blooded killer from the warehouse is already making his move. We will call him Trevor. Trevor sits in a black van outside the airport with a highly skilled hacker and a ruthless, heavily tattooed hitman. Originally, this crew broke into Jason's house, planning to take his family hostage to force him to let a package through the X-ray. But when their hacker realizes Jason swapped stations with Ethan, they quickly adapt. The hitman silently breaches Ethan's home instead. Back at the busy checkpoint, Ethan spots a strange small earpiece rattling inside a plastic bin. Before he can process it, His cell phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number reads, "Put it in your ear. Right now." With trembling fingers, Ethan complies. A chillingly calm voice echoes in his head. It's Trevor. And he doesn't waste time. A specific bag is coming through Ethan's lane. Ethan will let it pass without question. If he tries to be a hero, innocent people die. At first, Ethan nervously assumes it's a prank by his co-workers. That hope evaporates when the voice calmly recites the exact routines of Jason's family. Realizing the danger, Ethan subtly slips his phone out to dial 911. Trevor immediately barks a warning. If Ethan completes the call, Nora dies. Trevor reveals his men are inside Ethan's house. They've seen the ultrasound photos. They know everything. Ethan is completely trapped. Across the city, a sharp-minded detective named Cole is sifting through the burnt warehouse ruins. Cole notices the details everyone else misses. Looking at Oleg's charred luxury watch, he discovers a melted ATF wiretap hidden inside. He immediately bags it, hoping his tech department can extract the audio. Back at the airport, Ethan's face is pale with cold sweat. Trevor warns him that his terrified expression will attract attention. To calm him down, Trevor makes casual conversation. But as they talk, Ethan hears faint background noises through the earpiece. The ding of a PA announcement. The cry of a toddler. The caller isn't miles away. He's inside the terminal. Hoping to trace the signal, Ethan subtly lifts his smartwatch to record the audio. Trevor laughs darkly, telling him to put the watch down. Ethan freezes, looking up directly into the glowing lens of a security camera. Trevor has godlike control over the surveillance network. At the precinct, Detective Cole's IT specialist, Herschel, is aggressively trying to scrub the corrupted audio from the burnt wiretap. Despite his genius, the file is a garbled mess of static. Meanwhile, Trevor masterfully manipulates Ethan's deepest insecurities. He mocks Ethan's failed LAPD interview, and even insults Ethan's father, who failed the academy and spent his miserable life driving an Uber. Suddenly, Ethan hears a specific sound through the earpiece, the crunch of someone chewing a hard pretzel, followed by a shattering coffee mug. Ethan scans the massive crowd and locks eyes with a man at a nearby cafe, casually chewing and staring right back. Seizing an opportunity, Ethan stalls a random passenger, demanding a secondary search. As he hands the boarding pass to the veteran guard, Lewis, Ethan subtly uses the invisible ink marker to draw a giant cross and a desperate plea for help. Lewis shines his UV light, immediately understanding the silent cry. He marches straight toward Captain Sarkovsky's office to sound the alarm, but Louis never makes it. A man violently bumps into Lewis's shoulder. Within seconds, Lewis collapses onto the floor, convulsing before going entirely still. The crowd screams, assuming a fatal heart attack. But Ethan knows the dark truth. It was a public assassination. And worse, the assassin seamlessly pickpocketed the marked boarding pass before vanishing. Through the chaos, Trevor steps out of the shadows, walking right past Ethan's security line. He leans in close, a chilling smile on his face. Ethan is paralyzed. Trevor softly compliments the invisible ink trick, but notes it was completely useless. Trevor delivers his final warning. The package is arriving soon. The courier will wear a red baseball cap. If Ethan tries to play hero, the body count will be catastrophic. But just then, Captain Sarkovsky marches over, angry about the delays caused by Lewis's death. He pulls Ethan off the X-ray machine, throwing Jason back into the hot seat. If Jason is sitting there when the red hat arrives, he will stop the bag, and everyone dies. Ethan sprints into a duty-free shop, grabbing a miniature bottle of high-proof liquor. Trembling with guilt, he sneaks back and covertly pours the alcohol directly into Jason's travel mug. Trevor, watching through the cameras, anonymously reports a TSA agent drinking on the job. Moments later, Sarkovsky furiously drags Jason away from the station. Jason gives Ethan a look of absolute betrayal. Ethan swallows his pride, playing the coward to save his best friend's life. Ethan sits back down. Then, he sees the bright red baseball cap. The courier places a sleek black suitcase onto the belt. The X-ray penetrates the luggage. The screen flashes with terrifying warning colors. It's a horrific maze of wires and glass cylinders. A weapon of mass destruction. Ethan closes his eyes and presses the green button. The bag rolls through. Across town. Detective Cole gets a breakthrough. Herschel isolates a single word from the audio file. Novichok. It is an incredibly lethal, weaponized nerve agent from the Cold War. Cole immediately initiates a direct emergency hotline to the Department of Defense. Back at the airport, Ethan runs to the restroom, vomiting into the sink. Trevor steps out from a stall. Ethan snaps, lunging at the mastermind. Trevor effortlessly dodges, slamming Ethan against the wall. Trevor coldly explains he isn't a fanatic, just a highly paid contractor. If the bomb detonated in the crowded terminal, thousands would die. Detonating it in the sky minimizes the collateral damage. Before leaving, Trevor forcibly takes Ethan's cell phone. He reminds Ethan the job isn't done until the plane takes off. At the precinct, the Department of Defense dispatches Agent John Alcott to assist Detective Cole. The feds think Cole is overreacting. But then, Herschel traces a silent 911 call made from the airport earlier, directly to Ethan's phone. A silent distress call, followed by a security guard's sudden heart attack. Cole orders a massive, unannounced tactical raid on the airport. Ethan is forced to sit through an excruciating lunch with Nora. Trevor, still in his ear, forces Ethan to brutally insult her to avoid suspicion. He breaks her heart right there in the cafeteria to keep her breathing. Suddenly, heavily armed tactical police officers flood the terminal. Detective Cole has ordered a randomized sweep of 50 passengers. By law, the police require a TSA agent to assist with the manifest. Operating off the radar, Ethan secretly slips the Red Hat courier's name into the search list. Moments later, the tactical team violently tackles the courier. Trevor watches the feed in absolute rage. He demands an explanation, and Ethan finally talks back. Furious, Trevor orders his hitman to execute Nora. Trevor confronts Ethan in the bathroom again, delivering a bloody beating. But Ethan counterattacks, grappling with the courier's handler, Mateo. Ethan disarms Mateo, pressing a weapon to his chest. Trevor, realizing he lost the upper hand, pulls out a remote detonator and arms the Novichok bomb. The timer starts. The only way to stop it now is to manually flip the kill switch on the device itself. Ethan sprints to the baggage sorting area, but Captain Sarkovsky has seized the suspicious bag. A brutal struggle ensues. Mateo attacks Sarkovsky, and the captain is fatally slashed in the neck. Ethan is horrified, but Mateo drops to his knees in tears. Trevor is holding Mateo's innocent brother hostage. They are both pawns, realizing they share the same trauma. Ethan lowers his gun. Meanwhile, Detective Cole is speeding toward the airport with Federal Agent John Alcott. Cole glances at Alcott's forearm, spotting a terrifying tattoo. The real Alcott never made it. This man is Trevor's hitman. A brutal fistfight erupts at 80 miles per hour. Cole intentionally crashes the car, forcing the hitman to flee. Battered and bleeding, Cole commandeers a cruiser and speeds to the airport. In the subterranean baggage room, Mateo's survival instincts break. Believing Ethan will let his brother die, Mateo points a gun at Ethan and fires. But the gun is a 3D printed plastic replica. It overheats and melts in his hands. Trevor personally descends into the baggage area, armed with a stolen steel firearm. He relentlessly hunts Ethan through the conveyor belts, realizing he can't outgun the killer. Ethan slaps a magnetized barcode tracking sticker directly onto the bomb's suitcase. When Trevor reaches the end of the belt, Ethan is gone. With the flight boarding, Trevor grabs the bag and runs. At the same time, Nora walks to her car in the isolated parking garage. Trevor's hitman, surviving the crash, revs a stolen SUV and aims right for her. But suddenly, a massive crash echoes through the garage. Another vehicle T-bones the hitman's SUV. It's Mateo's brother. He overpowered his guards and arrived just in time to save Nora. Inside the terminal, Detective Cole corners Ethan in the baggage room. Cole raises his weapon, but Ethan rapidly explains the entire conspiracy, the hostage situation, the Novichok, and the barcode. They scan the system. The barcode flashes green. The bag is on a plane at Terminal 8. Herschel's voice crackles over Cole's radio, revealing the true motive. Corrupt businessmen hired Trevor to assassinate an anti-corruption politician named Congresswoman Grace, who is currently sitting in first class on that exact plane. They plan to use the biochemical weapon to make it look like a random terror attack. Cole is ready to ground the flight, but Ethan stops him. If police surround the plane, Trevor will detonate the bomb on the tarmac. The gas would kill everyone within a 5-mile radius. Cole makes the hardest call of his career. He lets the plane taxi to the runway. The massive jet lifts off into the night sky, sitting in first class. Trevor smiles. He has no idea that Ethan is freezing in the pitch-black cargo hold, using a small flashlight. Ethan finds the black suitcase. He carefully begins the bypass procedure to switch the bomb to manual mode. But the moment he cuts the wire, an alarm triggers on Trevor's smartwatch. Trevor slips down the maintenance hatch into the cargo hold. A terrifying game of hide-and-seek ensues in the dark. Trevor fires blindly, ripping a bullet straight through Ethan's leg. Ethan collapses. Trevor steps into the light, aiming at Ethan's head. With a sadistic smirk, he flips the detonator switch. Click. Nothing happens. Trevor flips it again. Click. He looks down in horror. The thick glass cylinders are completely empty. Ethan holds up a plastic disposal bag. While Trevor was hunting him, Ethan safely drained the chemicals. Hearing gunshots, the pilot declares a mid-air emergency and banks the plane around. The aircraft slams onto the runway, surrounded by SWAT trucks. Detective Cole boards the plane, marching into the cargo hold. He finds Trevor zip-tied to a steel beam. Cole kneels next to a smiling Ethan and officially unlocks his handcuffs. We cut to exactly 1 year later. The warm sun shines over the airport drop-off zone. Ethan steps out of a cab, wearing a crisp suit. As he reaches for his wallet, we see a shiny silver badge. He is officially an LAPD detective. He smiles as Nora walks up, holding their beautiful newborn baby. Right behind them is Jason and his family. The two best friends share a warm embrace, finally boarding a flight for a well-deserved tropical vacation. The security line has never looked so peaceful. Thank you so much for tuning in to another thrilling recap. If you enjoyed this intense breakdown, hit that like button, comment what movie we should cover next, and subscribe so you never miss a mystery. Stay safe, and see you in the next video.